Hi, Stan.
Hi.
If and when Marvel gets Spider-Man's film rights back, I'm keeping up hope. How do you think he'd be able to fit into the cinematic universe and be an Avenger?
How would
If
Spider-Man
if
be an
if
Avenger?
Spider-Man,
If Marvel got his film rights back from Sony.
if Marvel gets the film rights to Spider-Man back, how would he fit in with the Avengers?
Oh, they'd find a way to do it if they want to. You know, the nice thing about writing about fictitious characters, you can do anything. If they get the rights back to Spider-Man, and if they want him to be in the Avengers, there's 100 ways. In fact, I even wrote a story years ago, don't remember exactly, but where Spider-Man wanted to join the Fantastic Four. And he went to them, and I forget what happened. It was obviously a great story. And so, no, they could have any reason why Spider-Man wants to join the Avengers, or why the Avengers contact him and they want him to join if they can find him. And in fact, I would love to work on a movie like that. It's not a bad idea. Let's get Spider-Man into the Avengers. Wow. I'll probably have to give him a royalty.
Over here, please.
Stan, this is a great honor. Welcome to Philadelphia.
Great being here.
You've always said very flattering things about the great artists that illustrated the Marvel books that you scripted in the 60s. And I always wondered if you remember, Steve Ditko's departure from Spider-Man was very famous in the 60s. And I always wondered if you remember the last conversation you had with him and what the nature of that conversation was.
Yeah. He said, I quit. Or something like that. And I said, why? And he never really told me. He never really told me why he quit. One day he just up and quit. He quit Doctor Strange and he quit Spider-Man. And it's a shame because he's an incredibly talented guy. He did a wonderful Spider-Man. Luckily, we had John Romita and other people, and we were able to carry on. But I, honest to God, to this day, do not know why he quit. I'm sorry, I can't even make it sound funny. That's just the way it is.
Stan, I too would like to thank you for helping me shape my childhood imagination, creating the Hulk, Spider-Man, Thor. But what I wanted to ask you today is some of your secondary characters, where did you find inspiration for them, such as Rick Jones, one of my personal favorites?
Such as what?
Where did you find the inspiration for some of your secondary characters like Rick Jones and some of the B roles?
I never considered any character that I wrote as a secondary character. Thank you very
apologize about
much.
that.
But, you know, you need people for your characters to talk to. And it occurred to me that Bruce Banner needed somebody to talk to, and I thought it would be kind of fun to have this teenage kid, Rick Jones. And although we kind of lost him pretty soon, he didn't hang around too long, did he? I don't know. What was the question? Something about secondary characters?
What inspires you for those next level of characters?
I don't know it's inspiration. I think it's just when you say to yourself, I think this strip needs some more characters, and you put them, like, for example, with Iron Man. I had Tony Stark, who was rich and famous and an inventor, and he made himself an iron suit, but he needed people to talk to. And I thought it would be fun if he had a bodyguard, because he's a billionaire, what was his name, Happy Hogan, something like that? Yeah. And I thought, that guy is his bodyguard, but nobody knows that he's Iron Man. He could be anybody's bodyguard. And then I wanted him to have a love interest, so I thought it'd be good to have a secretary, and I called her Pepper Potts. I think that was the name I gave. I gave everybody the same first letter as last letter, when I could think of it, because it made it easy for me. If I forgot one name, the other name gave me a clue what the name began with. And again, I forgot the question, but you always need other characters for your characters to talk to, so you put them in when you can. Like my most famous one, Willie Lumpkin, the postman in Fantastic Four. Who would the Fantastic Four talk to when somebody was delivering the mail if they didn't have Willie Lumpkin there? I mean, it's so obvious.
Thank you.
Sir.
As the king of fictional superheroes, who is a real-life superhero to you?
Who is a real-life superhero to me? Well, that's a good question. I never really thought about it. You know what? Can I come back next year and answer that for you? I don't know. I don't have that. It used to be when I was very young, we had a president called Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was my hero. We haven't had too many presidents that I felt that way about ever since. And I'm trying to think. There are war heroes. There are guys I knew in the Army, but you don't know them. It wouldn't mean anything to mention their name. My best friend, who's an artist, Ken Bald, he used to draw the strip Dark Shadows, and he did some things for me years ago. He was a Marine captain. I'm very proud of him. I don't really have, I guess, any real life heroes. I can't think of any offhand. Yeah, I'm my biggest hero.